Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Games. I'm your host and I'd excited interview. Joining me is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello everybody. It's good to be here on this. I don't know, we're recording sometime in mid-January. Ed, this is weird because very clearly, well, not clearly, I guess, to the audience, but a little behind the scenes, I guess. We're recording a few episodes in advance because I will be on vacation, and we need an episode to release that week that I'm on vacation, and an episode to release the week after. So this is kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, it's kind of a mini block.
You and these mini blocks, man.
I love saying it like that.
You're the only one that likes the term mini block.
I do.
There's no such thing.
Mini block.
There hasn't been a thing in like 5 years.
Well, we have our mini blocks normally go on for like an hour or two, but it's just like
They don't exist. You're the only one that thinks they
exist. I guess I do call them mini blocks, and even though they still fall under the, like, it's a podcast episode for Pow Block, but I'm just like, a lot of the fat is cut off, or we do something completely different. So, we break the format in mini blocks. It's just fun to say. I can't help it.
Oh man!
And then I said it's kind of like a mini block. I didn't say it was one.
We need a better name for that. We need a warp zone or something.
No, I like mini block. Mini block. You try saying it that way.
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying this is episode 377-ish. Somewhere in there. But yeah, this is going to be a little this is not going to be covering anything recent, we'll say.
Yes. And
if there is a Nintendo Direct sometime this week or in the next week or so, I have taken my laptop and a microphone on vacation with me, and we will figure out how to record something in that environment. My internet will be garbage because it's Disney internet, but we will make it happen. We will figure it out.
Yes.
So,
Corey, I don't know if I ever told you this. So my not work schedule, but our business hours at my job is changing February 22nd.
Oh, great.
So there was a meeting about it, and we found out that there are some stores who pharmacy is going to be like straight closed on a Sunday, and other stores, they got their store business hours like cut down. I don't know which stores and stuff, but ours got extended. So Monday through Friday we'll be open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then Saturdays and Sundays we'll be open up from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. And the reason why that is changing, Saturdays we normally open from 8 to 10, but now we're going to be opening early during the weekend and closing later on the weekday.
Great.
And I'm assuming that they think that we're still going to make business for a whole hour. So I'm like, this is going to be terrible during the summertime, because all those kids who don't have nothing to do with school and stuff gonna be coming into our store playing around during the weekday. And I'm like, so now for a lot of us, we probably won't get home till almost close to midnight and everything. And it's just like, this is about to be a complete mess.
Great.
I was just like, oh, wonderful.
Great.
Like I was telling my store manager, I was just like, why couldn't we just be from 9 to 9? Like, during the pandemic, that was our store hours, and we made tons of money.
I don't know, man. It's a weird world out there, to be honest.
It truly is. So Corey, you want to jump into it? I got something for you, and I kind of want to.
Well, we should do the
Oh,
housekeeping from the doc first.
that is true. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Let's get into some housekeeping. PAX East 2024. Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network are headed to PAX East. You will be able to find us roaming the show floor, so if you're there, come say hi. We will be covering the event as part of the media, demoing games, conducting interviews, and recording a podcast or two live from the event. So make sure to keep your eyes on bossrush.net and our YouTube channel for that. PAX East is taking place in Boston, March 21st to the 24th. So get your badges now. Come say hi. We also have our Patreon, our website, and YouTube plugs. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, where you can get our supplemental show expansion pass 2 weeks early and ad-free and other perks like early access to other podcasts, voting rights, and more at the tier that's right for you. Again, that's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network.
Good job,
So,
Ed.
yes. So, I hit up Nintendo Life today, looking at their website, catching some Sunday news. And they have a mailbag kind of thing. And I thought, I'm like, well, I wonder, I've never taken question from a website that people send in and try to put our opinion or how we would answer this. So I thought maybe it'd be cool if I take some of their questions and present it to you, or it may cause a discussion and see where we would get with that. How does that sound, Corey?
Sure. Why not? Is
Okay.
this your fancy way of saying that you didn't ask for questions this week?
Were we supposed to ask for questions since we
We're supposed to ask for questions every week.
well well, at the time of this recording, everybody, we have a very special guest that has come on the show. Andre
Yes, 3 weeks
Wilson.
ago.
Yes, he joined us for a great discussion. Just a phenomenal person. And
Yes, that
so
discussion was wonderful. It was great. I remember none of it. It's because it hasn't happened yet.
Corey, it did happen.
Well,
We
for
talked
the
about
listeners, it happened. For me, it did not.
it did
We're
because
recording in 2 days.
we talked about amiibos.
What?
Yes. Remember
Okay.
we were talking about the amiibos from Xenoblade Chronicles?
I'm lost. I don't remember anything.
I'll talk to you later about it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's get into the first question. This is by Diamond Core. And they ask, with the overall bland diversity in genres and genre mixes at this year's Game Awards, I've been thinking about how some genres have the potential to be mixed together well that rarely get explored, like rhythm and side scroller. So I'm curious, what are some underutilized genre mixes you think will work really well together?
Genre mixes that would work well
Yes.
together?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of them have been used at some point. Maybe not necessarily by Nintendo, but I mean, you had like a lot of rhythm stuff being mixed in with other games, right? Like
Hmm.
Hi-Fi Rush did a really great job of mixing action adventure with rhythm. And, rhythm also was put into Cadence of Hyrule, which was a great action kind of adventure rhythm game. Man, I don't know. I would.
Well, I
Man,
mean,
I mean, I can think of games that are in one genre and would fit another genre really well, but
mhm.
I don't know about genre mixing because a lot of genres just mix already. I mean, a lot of games incorporate RPG elements already. Like a lot of
Mhm.
genres just use RPG elements now because it's more engaging to the player. Um,
Gears 5 had like a open worldish kind of feel to it. Um, and like the two areas in that game, even though it still was a third person shooter in a sense. Nintendo, um, like Mario, he's been in a lot of genres. That also that includes platforming and role play and stuff like that, and racing. Bowser's Inside Story. That had RPG. That's an RPG, but then there's a vertical shooter section in it that you and Luigi are playing. There's like some sports stuff that is in that game. So I think like just mixing two genres to make a game. I think a lot of that I agree with you, has been done. Um, and I don't think there's anywhere else to go because I'm like, you can't put a sim style game with like beat 'em up because it's probably a game already like that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like um ActRaiser, um that mixed 2D side scrolling with sim building and stuff, and everything. So I don't think there's a lot of genres that you could actually mash up, um that
Well, I
hasn't
mean,
been done.
yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot you could do with like a grid based system. I know RPG is kind of like the go to, right? But I also think
Hmm.
it would be really interesting, and I would argue that maybe Captain Toad did this to an extent, but like a square grid based platformer, um, but you would have to stay within the grids instead of wandering like in Captain Toad. But I think that would be really interesting. Um, just based on like a timing type thing. Man, I don't know, man. There's a lot.
I wonder if the gameplay of like Mega Man um could be used, like Mega Man and Fortnite put together. Like you defeat a opponent, like they got something, but find something that could be their actual weakness to what they're using, and you use that weakness to defeat your opponent, and then you could gain whatever they have, and maybe mix and match and stuff, or create
Yeah,
some alchemy or something like that.
yeah. I don't know, man. There's a lot you could do. I mean, I think the life sim, like, but even that's been done. If you look at stuff like the life sim RPG, like I know Harvestella just tried to do that, but I mean, you can go all the way
Mhm.
back to like Dark Cloud to do stuff like that. The
Yeah.
life sim RPG kind of, hey, we got to go on this. I mean, Disney Dreamlight Valley. I know people are tired of hearing me talk about it, but they do that really well. Of like a quest based life sim, which their new Star Path starts on the 24th, so I'm very excited. Which I mean is already going on. I don't know what it is, but probably some sort of Valentine's Day Easter thing, which is exactly what
Hmm.
it was at this point last year. But um, I don't know, man. They do that really well. Uh, so yeah, man. I don't know what you could do.
I think
I, I
instead of
think I think it I think it's easier to take games from other genres. Like for example, I think it'd be really interesting to make a swap Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. It would be really interesting to swap those genres, right? Of
hmm
like, oh, now Xenoblade is a squad based tactics RPG, and Xenoblade is now either an action RPG or a JRPG or some mix of both, right? I think that would be more interesting.
it,
Uh,
Fire Emblem would have to have like auto attack on, and you choose different moves and stuff.
I
Um,
I also think it would be interesting to apply genres to different franchises. Like my big thing is, I still think a Souls like Zelda game where you play as Ganondorf would be
hmm
amazing. I still think that would be incredible. The rise of Ganon, and do that. as a Souls style game. Get maybe not From Software to do it, but you could get someone that does that very easily. Like go to what the studio that did Lies of P could easily do it. Um, I don't know. Maybe you get From Software to do it.
I
I
mean,
doubt
they'll
they would
probably
do an exclusive game at this point, but you could do
with
that.
Nintendo, they'll probably do like Bandai Namco or Koei Tecmo, since Koei Tecmo did
Yeah,
Wo
you could do Koei
Long.
Tecmo
And,
because of Neo, and
yeah.
I think Rise of the Ronin is theirs too, right? Code
So it's mostly
Vein, and what was that one? The other one, Nexus. What was it called? Scarlet
Scarlet
Nexus.
Nexus. Yeah.
Not
Josh is
necessarily a
playing
Souls
that.
game, but you could do that.
Yeah, Josh
So
Martinez is playing Scarlet Nexus.
I know I've been looking at that. Dude, I have so many games on my backlog right now that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to play some video games in like the
Mm-hmm.
next 2 weeks for me. That's why we're recording these 2 episodes now, because I mean, it's Sunday. I'm recording 2 episodes tonight. I'm recording 2 things tomorrow. We're recording Pow Block with Andre on Tuesday. On Wednesday is Boss Rush and After Dark. Thursday, uh thank God Josh already has someone to talk to Tower Casuals on, because I need to take that episode of that off to do the Bossies thing. And then Friday is book club.
Busy,
Which
busy,
I don't
busy.
know how I'm going to finish Super Mario RPGs in between there and now. uh, a lot of late nights, I guess, going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, but yeah, man, it's going to be such a busy 2 weeks. And then on top of like recording stuff, we're moving, we're packing for vacation, we're packing to move. Work is getting busy. Like, that we have like something like 5 events in 7 weeks that we need to do, and so it's going to
All
be
online.
no, I mean, they're in person, so it's going to be one of those things, and
Oh,
it's going to be busy, man. It's busy,
that
but
normally
fun.
happens. That normally happens.
Also, and also, like, I have to somehow, come up with some money for PAX to, you know get there and eat. So that'll be fine. It's all good. It's good.
Yes.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts.
Well, let's move on to the next question. This is from Daniel Rue Pereira. He asks, as a gamer fascinated by retro stuff, especially Game Boy, I have noticed that more and more developers are making new stuff for old consoles. Some ports even make headlines here at Nintendo Life. Now, with that being probably a resurgence of old consoles in a very punk rock way, will there ever be space for reviews of these new games in here? And if so, could that lead to even more people making new stuff for old consoles? Um, so he kind of speaking of homebrew games and everything. Um,
He's not. There are Kickstarters that people are making stuff for old consoles. They're releasing. I saw like a lot of Genesis is really popular to release old games
yeah,
on. Game Boy Color has gotten quite a few games, but granted, these are like novelty type things, and they end up releasing those games digitally on stuff like Switch and
yeah,
PlayStation and Xbox, right? But like the novelty is, oh, I'm getting a new Game Boy Color game because I like Game Boy Color. And a lot of people are playing those on the Analog Pocket, right? Or the Analog
right,
Pocket Color. And by the way, if I had $300 to throw away, the Analog Pocket is an incredible looking machine. Like,
yes,
oh man, it reminds me of a modern Game Boy Pocket.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Game Boy Pocket was the best. But anyways,
Yeah,
like that's the novelty of that. Something just got announced for Game Boy Advance, actually, a new Game Boy Advance game.
yeah. And what people got to realize is that these games are not like definitely when they come to Nintendo, they're not the seal of approval with Nintendo. Like they don't have a license with Nintendo to actually put those games on the system. But because those systems are old, um, it depends if they're gonna not Nintendo stopping the sale or nothing or a thing, but it depends on like how many copies they're gonna make and put out because they gotta fund those cartridges to even have that game on there to put it on the system. So
Well, those
and
systems are probably pretty open at this point. Um, I don't know. I don't think Nintendo cares about the cartridges. They probably have this is probably overstock from providers, right?
yeah.
And so, I think those cartridges are readily available and they just have to port them to that. Um, so I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, it's it's been a thing for decades actually. Nintendo had a lot of them. Like you mentioned, Corey's the Genesis had a lot of them. The thing about it is that there is for CD based systems, there's none of that. Like I haven't seen any kind of independent developer make a game and put it like on the GameCube like years later and
Yeah,
stuff like
but
that.
I also think the security on some of those consoles, like I think also GameCube was like notorious, like most Nintendo consoles, was notorious for being extremely difficult to develop
Yeah.
for. So I understand that, but I also think uh handhelds are more appealing and easier to develop for. I think. So I don't know.
and
I don't
and
know.
you and you'll see the cost of it being close to $70 to $100 because they gotta make money, like they gotta recoup money off of this, putting them on those old cartridges and things. Like I think there's a role playing game that was coming to the Sega Genesis. That mug was like $80 and stuff. But even though there was some Genesis, I think Fantasy Star was like $70. Fantasy Star 4. I think that was like a lot of money and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, and then they got to realize that they have to develop for that system. Like the stuff, the retro style looking stuff that we play on Switch now can't be done on a Super Nintendo or a Game Boy Advance. Like Shovel Knight, that there's no way that could be done on the Super Nintendo. There's a lot of stuff that they have to reduce um, on that to
Yeah.
even, or they'll have to even
Well,
just design that game, from the bottom up
yeah,
to
I
even
think
get it to run.
yeah, I think when you're looking at something like Shovel Knight though, and especially that era of games, that and stuff like Axiom Verge and
Hmm.
Hyperlight Drifter and a lot of these game maker games, like they were made for the nostalgic factor of these look like those games, but there's no way those games could run on that hardware, right? I think that would be really fascinating though if they took, which is kind of what Mina the Hollower is doing from Yacht
Hmm.
Club, right? They are actually working within the constraints of the Game Boy Color to develop that, which I think is really fascinating. Um, and so that's something we might be able to revisit this year. Of like they kind of like reverse, I don't know, developed, I guess, because they have those constraints in place. Reverse
Yeah,
developed is the wrong term, but I know what I'm saying. I don't know how to say it so other people know what I'm saying. But I think it would be really fascinating to take something like Shovel Knight and almost reverse engineer it to say, hey, why wouldn't this run on the NES, and then make an NES version of Shovel Knight, like Shovel Knight 8. And call it like Shovel Knight 8 or something.
Yeah, I think
or
that's
Shovel
why
Knight 8-bit, or like it would be the prequel to Shovel
demastered
Knight, and have
or
it
something like that.
tell us the story of Shovel Knight and Shield Knight, right? Like that would be
Hmm.
really awesome. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because there's like Halo got a demastered as an indie game, like, and they turned it
Well,
into a
Halo was
2D
on the
game.
DS. Remember when Halo was on the DS?
I do not
IGN had
remember that.
playable versions of Halo on DS.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, man, that was a real thing. Look it up. Look it up right now. Seriously. Halo DS on YouTube. There are builds out there. You could probably actually find a playable build for your DS for that.
Who
Uh,
was making it?
Bungie was making it. It was a real thing. IGN had playable builds of it.
Halo DS was a proposed Halo game that would have been released on the Nintendo DS. The game was rumored throughout
There's a
2007.
there's a literal video on IGN for it. I'll send it to you after whatever the heck this is.
Oh, that's surprising.
Why is it so
Um,
loud?
but I thought Microsoft owned it. Halo.
They did.
Surprising they would
Here,
put it on the DS.
this is for on IGN from 12 years ago.
Uh huh.
I don't know who this guy is in the video, but they're playing it on a DS Lite.
Hmm. That's
Yeah, it's like this weird, like almost like it's almost like it's almost like what Metroid Prime Hunters ended up being.
uh huh.
So go to like the 1 minute mark in the
Yeah, I
video.
see it. Cause he's touching it with the touch screen at the
Yeah, it's
bottom.
crazy. It's so nuts.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's a real thing. So it looks like it's something I would not want to play, but
Hmm.
you
The
know.
DS was the experimental system
Oh my
from
gosh,
the new
man.
ideas.
You gotta the DS Lite though, master class of a system,
Oh
not the
yes.
master system, but a master system.
Yes. Well, let's
So,
see. Uh,
but Ed, let's visit that question though, real quick. I want to go back to the genre question,
okay.
real quick. Of like, what of Nintendo's franchises would you like to see in a different genre? Right? I mean, Mario has obviously been done to different genres to death, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just you know, but
Um, I think. Hmm. I think I would like to see probably. I kind of would like to see like Nintendo getting back into a real life sports thing. So like Ken Griffey Jr. Like they did that. Like I would love to see if Nintendo still was working with Ken Griffey Jr. or
hmm,
in the MLB nowadays. What would they produce? You know, and mixing that up, how do they make it arcade in a sense? Like, is it every time you play or you go over a friend's house, their stats come up? So it is part arcadey, part sim game, part sports ball, um, and everything. And like when you go on, you could go online and play with other folks, and it'll give you gear which you could use in Wii Sports or something like that, or Nintendo Sports and stuff. Like I would love to see that kind of crossover or that kind of genre mashup and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
because like Fire Emblem, to me, it's gonna be like, okay, Fire Emblem 2D beat 'em up, like by Treasure or something like that. Star Fox is pretty much Space Harrier, but I'm like, what if you know Star Fox was kind of like a game done like uh a quick time event and everything. Like you fly and do these set levels, but you have to press these buttons at the right time, and it's done like a QTE and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the more mistakes you make, the more that the ending would likely change. So you want the best ending, you gotta get perfects all through the game
Mm.
and stuff. Uh I think Zelda being a walking sim, but you playing that Zelda and you're finding out the story of your mother and everything. Uh and how uh she was, you know, why the Triforce chose her, and before whatever happened to her, it got passed down to their daughter and stuff. Like I would love to see that, you know. Um, and the castle that you're in has puzzles to it and everything, and you as Zelda got to figure it out. So I can see like Zelda as a walking sim, uh, in that sense.
Yeah.
Um, Metroid actually being like a space noir uh detective game and everything, where she actually does land on a planet. Uh, don't want to say like Dead Space or anything like that. But she lands on a planet, and it has so much history to her. I mean, so much history about the Chozo, and all she does is like, explore and solve riddles that the Chozo never got to solve and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And you use those clues to help solve other cases in it and stuff. And you, not so much as a walking sim, but you use those clues to help you, progress through the game. And and those clues, like when you solve the puzzle, it gives you power to help you solve other clues and
Mm.
everything.
Yeah. That sounds neat.
Uh, she Pokemon about done it all.
Sorry, I'm
It's
pumping up on some energy here.
uh, yeah, I think I don't know what I would do with Kirby though, because Kirby has been in a pinball game, he's been in a racing game, he has his 3D platformers and 2D platformers.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what? I think I if I was a Kirby game, I would do like uh kind of like a you know how you got to do match it. You got to match the two pictures and stuff, or do a Where's Waldo, like a Where's Kirby kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would do something like that and everything. And you think you could find Kirby just using a pink one, but no, you can't. If I was actually Scribblenauts and Kirby together,
Jeez. That would be interesting, I suppose.
yeah. Uh, Last but not least, let's see. Because Nintendo did have like a cooking game for DS where you was able to
Cooking
do,
Mama.
not cooking mama, you were actually able to have recipes, and you could go to the grocery store and get the items for that and click it off and stuff. Um I think that would kind of be something. a cooking game where you're feeding the Nintendo characters in the universe. So something like maybe something like Overcooked for the Nintendo characters. Like you are the chef, you and your teammates are, doing orders for Mario, Zelda, Ganon, Samus, the Metroids, or the Space Pirates, Mother Brain, um, uh, whoever, Captain Falcon. Like you are literally making food for 'em in an overcooked style
Hmm.
and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sure.
Uh,
Um, man.
Shoot, punch out in a We Fit kind of thing, or something, or
Yeah. I mean, they've kind of already done that with boxing or
boxing.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that they missed the mark with that by not having a punch out exercise routine or something. But um I don't know, man. I think man. So I think Star Fox is worth revisiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of talked about that a little bit of like having that more openness and kind of get out of your ship and explore type thing. I think it would be really interesting to have the old school ship elements, but like more of what maybe almost No Man's Sky-ish, but more what Ubisoft did with Starlink and like which
Mm-hmm.
obviously was a Star Fox game on the Switch for a lot of people. But also what they're doing with Star Wars Outlaws of like having these big open worlds that you can go explore and take on quests and you know either fight they could have different types of quests like obviously combat quests or puzzle quests like a Zelda dungeon style thing or
So something better
and
than
then
Star Fox Adventure.
as you travel to each planet like maybe there's aerial combat involved in some of these open spaces, but also like traversing from planet to planet. Like you could make that your old school Star Fox style things, or I don't know, have what's the big ship called, the Great Fox or whatever, like
Mm,
be
yeah.
your base of operations where you upgrade your ships or your weapons or your like your armor sets or whatever, right? So
Yeah. I mean, our Metroid Hell Divers, I definitely would love to see.
yeah, that would be interesting too. Um, let's see. I mean, I know Xenoblade is more of a light action JRPG, but
Mm-hmm.
more of like it's more turn based than I think people give it credit for because I think it would be really cool if you took that and made like a full on action RPG the way that something like I don't know. I would say I don't want to say Kingdom Hearts, but something more along the lines of like something like that, I guess. And have it more character like maybe you're one character in this universe that matters, but you're on your own quest, right? And maybe you meet,
Mm-hmm.
that ties some of the stories together and whatever. I don't know. That series is something that I'm going to play through this year. I've made it a point to at least I re-downloaded the first one. I started it and liked it, and then I just got sucked into other things last year because obviously last year was a big year in video games.
Would you do like a Luigi's Mansion meets Power Wash Simulator kind of
No,
thing?
no, no. Um, let's see.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to think
Capcom
of
did make
other.
it as an arcade game, so
I'm trying to think of other genres that I. I mean, I would like a Kid Icarus style Breath of the Wild style game, right?
Mhm.
But we've talked about that before too. Of like make it more vertical, I guess, and like, well, I guess Tears of the Kingdom would be that, right?
Mhm.
Uh, the verticality, right? But I would really like something like that we've already talked about the Zelda Souls like game to death. Um, remember when Donkey Kong was attached to bongos for a long time? That was fun.
Oh yeah,
Did I tell you on Facebook Marketplace I saw somebody selling uh Donkey Konga, Donkey Konga 2, and Donkey Kong's Jungle Beat and two sets of bongos for like $30.
yeah.
And if it wasn't an hour and a half away, I would have gone to go get it. Like
Uh,
it was that's incredible.
I know
Those games were interesting. Donkey Kong's Jungle Beat was actually really interesting, right? Because they made a full on Donkey Kong platformer out of that, and you had to use the bongos. And one bongo was attack and one was jump, and then there was like a mechanic to move, right? So
yeah. I know Mario had the Dance Dance Revolution treatment. Uh,
yeah, that was worth a ton of money for a long time until it wasn't. Which is funny. Have we ever talked about when I played that game?
no,
Yeah, I used to have it, and I bought it as a part of a collection that I no longer no longer have. Uh, but it's not a dancing game. It's a Mario. Most of it is a Mario platformer. Some of it is dancing, but most of it is a Mario platformer.
that's
Which is
weird
yeah,
because
and
it
like
had like the arrows and
yeah.
stuff that
Well,
you
you have to
normally.
do the arrows, but it's not to the music. It's like to accurately do the stuff in the game. So that game was really weird. There is some dancing, and there's some like DDR recognizable DDR stuff in there, but a lot of it was just like a platforming game.
Didn't Nintendo have like a Monopoly game also? I think for like Wii.
It was that Dragon Quest money something game. Like it was the Mario versus Dragon Quest weird board game thing. Yeah, I
I
forget
thought
what it
they
was
had
called.
another one
It had Mario and a Dragon Quest slime on it. on it.
because
Uh,
one of them was just like teaching you about like business and stocks and stuff like that.
I think that was the Dragon Quest slime one.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it
That was
was
a
just like a
weird
game rated
crossover.
for E. It was like a game rated for E. I was just like, this is a game with economics in it. A kid not gonna know
Well,
anything about this.
every child is ready to learn about stocks, bonds, and economics.
Uh,
Just like me. Just kidding.
but yet they're getting A, but don't know how to play the Lego games because they buy a
Well,
strategy guide.
yeah, well, you know. What's next, Ed? We probably got time for one more on this episode.
Yes. So, I was looking at once again at Nintendo Life, and everything, and I was there was a story, uh, that came out. Look at this. I'm trying to find it. Everybody, um, about goodness, where is that story? It might have been from last week, and everything. Uh, that what was it? What game was it? It was um uh sorry everybody. I'm looking for it because they were just like one of the game they were just like maybe we could stop the comparisons of it. Um oh yeah, it was uh Foam Stars. And sorry about that everybody. It was about Foam Stars, and I think the producer or director was waiting for that game to come out so that people could see it's not a Splatoon ripoff or and stuff like that. Uh, and I kind of was just wondering, Corey, because now like a lot of people are very interested kind of in Foam Stars. Definitely it's going to be free on PlayStation Plus, for people to try out or people to play. But do you think that in the future for games, there's going to be more developers being inspired by Nintendo games. We got Power World, which pretty much takes inspiration for Pokemon, and now everybody jumping on, hey, Game Freak, you can make a Pokemon game, and it could be better and stuff. You know, or a good Pokemon game and everything. But do you think in the future that this is going to continue to happen? That Nintendo games are going to inspire others create something in that genre with their own take on it?
I mean, I think a lot of people are still inspired by Nintendo games a lot of the time. I mean, you see I mean, every single RPG or open world, what they call Western role playing games at this point,
Mm-hmm.
right, is inspired by The Legend of Zelda. Everything, the NES version, or every platformer is like, well, grew up playing Mario as a kid, and it's like very clearly inspired by something like Mario 64 or Super Mario World, or even something like Mario 3, right? I mean, remember when a Hat in Time skipped the Switch release because they were like, we don't want to be compared to Mario, which is something that we are very clearly inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they wanted to like not uh be compared to it. And so you look at something like that, and then, obviously, since we live in an era now where people grew up on like PlayStation, that era, or PlayStation 2 and Xbox and GameCube or something, and they make platforms that are inspired by stuff like Crash Bandicoot or Spyro, maybe not Crash so much, but Spyro or Ratchet or Jack, or stuff like that. And it's one of those things that's like, people are inspired by a lot of things. I am a little surprised that there aren't more games that have been inspired by Splatoon, though, considering it's kind of like kids' first shooter, and you would think that
Mm-hmm.
someone like it, I mean, obviously PlayStation is jumping in with foam stars on this, right? But I mean, Square Enix, but Sony is paying for that exclusivity. Um, would want in on stuff like this. I'm kind of shocked the king of shooters, Microsoft, isn't in on this. With all their shooter studios. Um, especially with something like Conquer or something. Maybe, well, maybe that's not kid friendly, but you know what I mean. Like cartoonishly, you know, slapstick, happy, fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not all about killing. It's more territory control and more um, strategic than that, right? It's I'm kind of shocked that that hasn't happened, but overall, I think a lot of studio. I mean, look, every other day we're getting in 5 more Metroidvania style games, right?
Yeah.
So that would be my thing. Is that, yeah, people are totally inspired by Nintendo all the time. Um, so I don't know. I think Nintendo has been an inspiration for a lot of people. I mean, Shovel Knight is the clear example of like, they were inspired by Nintendo and wanted to make a Nintendo game on Nintendo's worst selling piece of hardware. So, you know, it's in people's blood if they are inspired by Nintendo, want to make Nintendo games or Nintendo inspired games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah.
Do you think developers get frustrated because of that kind of comparison? Because they feel like to the developer's eyes, they feel like they're creating something original, but to the gamer or journalist's eyes, they see comparisons or similarities that they bring into the conversation to inform readers or their friends an idea of what this game may be when it's completed.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I think even you go so far as like, I think stuff even, I mean, you could even look at first person shooters, and like, Yeah, you can definitely point at Halo and like it clearly went this direction. But there's also that subsect of shooters that went the GoldenEye Perfect Dark direction, right? And
Hmm.
I mean, that's what Free Radical was built on. A bunch of ex Rare devs who went off to make Time Splitters, and Perfect Dark Zero ended up on Xbox 360, and that type of shooter still exists out there. Is it as popular as something like Halo or Call of Duty became? No, but it's still there, you know.
Yeah,
So,
I think like Nintendo in general, I think they're the only company that inspires others to make games with that feel or even create hardware. Like of course we use Switch for like the Steam Deck, but then um, we look at the Wii and how Connect and PlayStation Move came about, which was to even take the handhelds for Nintendo and how Sony got in with the PSP and Vita and the Microsoft, you know, how they try to use smart glass
mhm.
and things like that. And Connect. It's just really interesting to see that at a point that Nintendo, whether people feel like they were successful or not, um, their stuff still continue to inspire. Like, um, even with Labo, there was other companies trying to do something like that and everything, but not too much success. And even though Nintendo had their success with Labo, uh, it didn't it didn't continue to go on like they Nintendo probably was hoping to, and stuff. Even with Amiibo, that one is still going after everybody did the Toys for Life stuff. For Spyro, uh, and then they just seen how much money that people were losing on that. But yet Nintendo is still putting out Amiibo thanks to Smash and other games and other
Mhm.
uses of those
Yeah, man,
things.
Amiibo. I wish Amiibo weren't so hard to find. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still missing the Xenoblade 2's Amiibo, which I really would like to have. Um, I don't know. I have just been. There are Amiibo that I have that I wish I didn't have, and then there are Amiibo that I don't have that I wish I had. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wish there were more. I wish there were. I don't wish there were more Amiibo. I wish the Amiibo that you wanted were easier to find, if that makes sense. And I
Yes.
understand that that's like an inventory cost management thing for Nintendo, and not everybody wants Amiibo, but a lot of people do want Amiibo, and um, the scalping market knows that. Although that I think that that's gotten better, and I think the Toys to Life thing is obviously dead in the water. But that doesn't prevent Nintendo from still putting out Amiibo, right? So
Right.
like I have Shulk, and then I have Noah and Mio coming, but I'm missing the Pyra and Mithra ones, and that makes me upset. Also, they never made a Rex one, which is also upsetting. But that's
True.
just
Yeah. But I remember people said they were like, "I'm not getting the uh the girl from Wii Fit, the Wii Fit girl," and then that was like the first thing
yeah,
that you couldn't find that was sold out like everywhere.
yeah. No player to Byleth though. No female Byleth, which is upsetting. But they did make that really awesome first four figures statue. That's like
Mm-hmm.
$200 of Byleth, and that statue is awesome. Um, maybe I'll get another another job to pay for these things. No, I don't want another job. I'm good. I'm good. I like my current job and doing this. Maybe someday if we get this, but
I always wonder what Sony and Microsoft have enough characters to do something like Amiibo
I mean,
for
I
their
think they both
games.
clearly do. It's just do people care? Right? I mean, PlayStation tried to do those non-amiibo figures, like the
Mhm.
3-inch tall ones that were like this. They started with a T. I forget what they were called. They did like the Bloodborne Hunter, and they did Kratos and Crash, and I think Cloud was part of that at some point. Like they've definitely done them, but I'm not 100% sure on, you know, what is really, you know, what their incentive to do it is, because if Nintendo can't make amiibo work, which they are, but also they aren't now, like what would be the incentive of Sony and Microsoft to do it? I mean, I think Microsoft has the least incentive to do it because they hardly have any games right now to do that with, and meaningful characters. What are you going to put 75 different styles of Spartans out there, and Delta Team from Gears? I don't think so. And then there are the other games they promote, you create your own characters. So I don't know. It'd be like if BioWare, and this is a terrible example because they actually did do this, but it would be if like BioWare put out, generic Commander Shepard, and everybody was just like, oh, Shepard, not my Shepard, which they did, but they put out two versions. They also put out Liara and Garrus and,
Yeah.
Rex.
See,
And
I think Garrus would be the one that would sell out
they all
if
sold
he.
out. I wanted the Liara one, but it sold out almost instantly.
Oh, okay. I mean, like if Bioware partnered with Nintendo and like Garrus was like in a Smash Brothers and that was getting the amiibo, like
Yeah.
I think the pre-orders would have went crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's you know, I think amiibo are great. I wish there were more ways to get the ones you wanted, and I also wish there was I don't know, less of them, I guess. It was a cool idea at first though, right? Let's release all the
Hmm.
Smash ones, but that series started on the when Wii U Smash came out. Like,
Yeah,
well, what is going on now? Like, how are you supposed to do that? You know?
I think because of a lot of their games, um, they were just like that with their universe, just the Nintendo universe of games. A lot of those characters could get the amiibo, uh, the amiibo kind of thing, version, or a character, and they could do something with it to help players. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so. But I think we're gonna call it episode of Nintendo Pow Block right there, Corey. I think
Great.
that was a good one.
It was all
So,
right.
any final thoughts or anything?
No, not really. Just hope everybody's enjoying their week. I am, because I'll be on vacation. So, you know, hope everybody's enjoying their time.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll probably be doing. Probably be playing games and working. I know. I'm planning out my Hellblade playthrough. Uh, in in March and stuff, and then I'm going to try to finish up a lot of Nintendo games and everything. Uh, I'm super excited for Princess Peach, so hopefully when that drops, I can play it. My At this time, everybody, I will have my another code um collection. I ordered it for Best Buy, and the store doesn't have it for you to go in and buy. You If you order it, they have to mail it to you. So my order got delayed, so now I have to wait till the 27th, and if I don't get it by then, they're gonna cancel it and refund my money, and then I just
Hmm.
have to try to go somewhere and play it. Because right now, it may be at an 80 or a 70. I haven't checked Metacritic at the time, but I'm like, they said it was good and everything. Um, so I'm excited to see. I'm excited to play it. I did start up Prince of Persia on Switch, and it looks good. It plays fine. It's not bad.
Yeah,
So
I would really like to play some Prince of Persia soon.
yeah,
It's on my list. So, you know,
yes.
just
Well,
like
everybody,
900 other games.
exactly. Everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Bye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts.